Right, so today I wanted to talk about a few different things when it comes to the whole crypto world and basically just talk about things a little bit. My favorite ones, what I think is going to happen going forward, all that kind of stuff. So, the first thing I would say is that, when it comes to this kind of stuff, you really got to make sure you do your own research. I'm by no means an expert, and um, a lot of people, I mean, one of the most common ways people get burned is by just blindly believing people. And so again, make sure you do your own research when it comes to this kind of stuff. But um, getting right into it, I mean, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high, I think, early last week. It's came down again quite a bit, down to, I think it hit around, I mean, it was like 81 Canadian, I think that's about 65 US. So again, back down to just under 55 right now. Again, it's bouncing around a lot. Again, by the time you watch this, it could easily be up 5,000 or down 5,000. Um, ETH has been doing really good lately. It's hit a new all-time high. Um, Again, doing very well, very well. I think it's up around 33 Canadian. Um, Binance Coin, again, not really into Binance Coin. XRP, again, the one thing I would say too is that, again, personally, I would say the majority of your crypto portfolio should be in Bitcoin. Personally, I would say like 80, 90%, at least 70, 75, I would say on the low end. ETH, again, um, good in some ways, it's better than Bitcoin in some ways. It's also a lot worse than Bitcoin in some other ways. So I would have a little bit of exposure to it for sure. Probably the second most. XRP, again, not a fan of XRP. I have absolutely no idea why people are fans of XRP. It's, um, the people that created it, the corporation behind it, is clearly corrupted to a degree. Clearly a pump and dump to some degree. People, made a lot of money off it. So, I mean, the one thing you're looking for when it comes to a crypto is, number one, is it decentralized? If it is, okay, well, that's great, like Bitcoin. Number two, if it isn't, okay, well, who is behind it? And do you think that the goal is simply just to make a bunch of money off it? That's something you got to be really concerned about. And when it comes to XRP, I think that's clearly the case. So, um, I would get out of XRP. I have no idea why people like XRP. Cardano, I think, has a lot of potential. I mean, it was basically created to be a better version of ETH. Is that going to happen? I'm not sure. I mean, again, it definitely has more potential. Like 10 years from now, if Cardano is has a higher market cap than ETH, that would not surprise me one bit. Or it could completely crash and burn. But I think of all the cryptos, Cardano has some of the most potential. I mean, right now it's only a 40, what is that, $40 billion market cap. Ethereum 304. So again, still has a lot of room to grow, I think. Dogecoin again is the king of shit coins. Again, for all the people that are buying Dogecoin, it is a pump and dump. All right, do not if you got money in Dogecoin, you're gonna get burned if you keep it in the long run. So if you're gonna put money in Dogecoin, which I wouldn't suggest personally, but if you're gonna, um, you're really risking a lot of things, right? Like 10 years from now, there is no way Dogecoin's going to be the seventh or even in the top 10 or 20. Like maybe even not in the top 100, right? It's do not you're if you're messing around with Dogecoin, you're going to get burned at some point, I believe. Polkadot and Uniswap, again, I hear a lot about them, but I don't know a lot about them. Same goes for Litecoin. I think Litecoin's kind of similar to Bitcoin, but again, obviously never gonna go along. Bitcoin Cash, again, Chainlink. Let's see what else we got here. Um, Monero, I think, is another one that I think has a lot of potential because it is um, geared more towards the privacy aspect, which is something that definitely could grow in the future. Again, only a you know $6.9 trillion market cap. I think it still could grow quite a bit. It was up around like 500. I think a week, within the last week, it's down to 387. But that's the one thing about Monero, very, very volatile, even compared to Bitcoin. So, and then there's one other one. Um, let's see where it is. I know it's towards the bottom here. Tezos is one I hear a lot about that I think is some potential, but I don't know a lot about it. Um, Bitcoin Gold, Celsius. Let's see what else we got here. Let's just search it up actually. Pirate Chain. This is the one this one's up a ton over the last well, last week or month or so. I mean, you look at let's look at the last month here. Um, Again, it's up to, I think it's just over 9 Canadians at 7.6 right now. Um, Again, I mean, look at even just like 2 weeks ago, it was at zero point 0.4. So it's grown a lot over the last little while. This one's kind of designed, from what I hear, doing a little bit of research about it. It's kind of designed to be a better version of Monero, and Monero has been one of the best well, very, very good performing coins over the last year. I think it was at like 80 a year ago. Peaked at 500. So again, up over, 6x at times, which is really good. I mean, this one now, even in the last week, is up a lot. But again, so this is of one of the smaller cap ones. This is one that I think is really good. Obviously, it would have been nice to get in a week or two ago, but I think it still has room to grow. But when it comes to it, again, the one thing, the other last thing I wanted to point out here too is that within the crypto community, when you get more into it, one of the big things you notice is you have the people fighting over, which coin's the best, right? Which coin's the best, like. But the one thing that I think is really important that a lot of these people forget is that they're getting too far ahead of themselves, right? In that, um, there's still a ton of people that haven't got into this stuff, right? So the goal isn't necessarily at this point, I don't think, to come up. I mean, I think that it would be a good thing as well. But the main goal, I think, because I think that the secondary goal is important as well. But the main goal should be is to get as many people as possible into this kind of stuff. And when you're someone who's on the outside looking in, and you see, okay, I wanted to get into this whole crypto thing, but where do I start? And you have people saying, oh, you got to get this coin, you got to get that coin, oh, don't get any of this one, don't get any of that one. Um, I think it dissuades a lot of people from getting in. So the one thing I would say is that, um, what I would do, again, personally, obviously do your own research, but again, just personally, what I would say is that when you're just getting into it, just buy Bitcoin. Like, if you want to get a little bit of ETH, do that. Once you start to learn more about the cryptos and how they work, and maybe you find some people you trust, then you can branch off into some of the altcoins. But when you're first getting into it, don't mess around so much. Just get Bitcoin. If you want to have 5-10% in ETH, by all means. Cardano, I think, is the next best one. Um, Monero, I think, would be a good idea to have some Monero. Like I say, Pirate Chain, I think, is going to grow a lot as well. It already has. But again, a lot of these, like, again, you got a ton of these people that's Dogecoin. That's what they're getting into. And again, like I say, I think people are going to get burned. Like, I really think people are, if you got a lot of money in Dogecoin, you're going to get burned. I mean, look at the amount of Doge in supply right now. Is it 129 billion? I think Doge, I think it inflates by it's 10,000 per minute or per hour. I forget which one it is, but it's inflating at a very high degree. So again, like I say, there is no way Doge is going to be this high in market cap 5 or 10 years from now. Even a year from now, I still doubt it. Um, so again, I would get out of Doge. Definitely get out of Doge. Like I say, Bitcoin should be the majority, probably followed by ETH, probably followed by Cardano, and then again, I like Monero and pirate chain on the back end to have some privacy as well. Um, and again, like they say, there's some other ones too that I hear about people talking about that I think they have good arguments for. Uniswap, SushiSwap, Polkadot, um, Stellar. I hear about. I don't know much about that one. Um, yeah, I mean that's what I would say. That's what I would say. But the one main point I wanted to bring up is um, like stop making it so confusing for people, because again, like whether you have your money in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Monero, it doesn't matter. That's money that's not in the hands of the traditional banking system, right? So if we could just get more people to do that, then that would get us closer to our goal. And the other thing people probably are going to do is that they get into Bitcoin, especially right now. I think right now is Bitcoin's actually trending down over the last month and over the last week, which I think is a perfect buying opportunity. Someone gets in now. Again, it's inevitable. It's going to go back up. They're going to like that. And they're going to want to get into it more and more and more, right? So that's something that I would bring up that I think is really important. So um, and like I say, the other thing too is that like I don't understand this constant fight. I mean, I do understand, but the constant fighting over which coin's the best and all this kind of stuff. It's like, let's just calm down. Let's just calm down and focus on the main goal. And the other thing I think people fail to bring up as well is that the crypto space as a whole is going to get better. Someone's gonna, I mean, they already are, but we're going to come up with solutions to get fees down and all this kind of stuff. It's inevitable, right? It is inevitable that someone's going to come up with a good system for this stuff too. So that's something I would say is that um, stop um, worrying so much about that stuff and just start worrying mainly about getting people into the space. The other thing I would bring up too is that for all the people that um, like, I mean, if you bring it up to someone and they're not receptive of it, who cares? Screw them, right? Screw them. Because the one thing that actually I heard brought up, and I think it's a very good point, is that for all the socialists and the environmentalists and these kind of people, it's awesome that those people aren't getting into it. Because the one good thing about, I mean, I think one of the best things about cryptocurrencies getting so going up so much is it's disproportionately like the libertarian types that are making money off this stuff, which is awesome. And it's disproportionately the socialists and leftist types that aren't making money off of it, which is awesome, right? So if you know someone, again, if you usually know, like if you're fairly, with it, you should be able to tell with a pretty good degree of accuracy the kind of people you bring it up with that are going to be receptive of it and the kind of people that aren't, right? So um, that's what I would say, right? That's what I would say is that for people you think actually would benefit, yeah, bring it up. If they don't care, whatever. But for the people that probably aren't going to care, like again, like if you know someone who's big on, socialism and all this kind of stuff, the chances of them being interested in this stuff is almost zero because again, the whole point of cryptocurrencies is number one, to preserve your wealth and build your wealth, and number two, to have a medium of exchange that is decentralized from the banking system. But if you're a socialist, like your whole entire worldview is based around being able to inflate the money supply to buy votes, and number two, to be able to track every transaction to a very high degree to be able to tax people, right? So yeah, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I think that personally, I think that I mean, when it comes to the cryptos, there's like 99.9% of the coins are complete bunk, right? Complete bunk. Um, to varying degrees, right? To varying degrees. I mean, Dogecoin's complete bunk, but yet it's still going up, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to go up. But like I said, the two big ones I see that people I think in the long run are going to lose money on if they're hodling is XRP and Dogecoin, the ones that have the most potential to grow. Bitcoin, Ethereum to some degree, I think it's not going to have as good a returns as Bitcoin in the long run. At least I don't believe. Cardano, I think, has a ton of potential. Like I say, Monero and Pirate Chain. Those are the other two big ones that I think are going to do very well over the next 5 to 10 years. Um, but anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up today. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you check out those links below. Follow me on those other platforms if you haven't already. If you want to donate, you could do that as well. Again, I would very much appreciate whatever support I can get, but at the very least, just hit that like and subscribe and stay tuned for more.